Hey everyone, welcome back to Ragtag Stacking. In today's video, I'm going to talk a little bit about the paper silver to physical silver ratio. And I have talked about this before. I have made a video about this a couple of times. And the same number kept popping up over and over again. 250 to 1 was what the paper to physical ratio was. And looking at that number just as a whole there, it's a good representation of the old adage, if you don't hold it, you don't own it. Because when you look at that, it's saying that 250 paper contracts have a claim to that 1 physical ounce of silver. So I'd periodically look, and the same articles would be there, the same number 250 to 1 kept showing up, and I was trying to see if there was any movement on there. And then I noticed on the U.S. debt clock, it actually has what it says paper to silver ratio, and it actually has what it has currently, what it is right now. And like I said, I saw that on the U.S. debt clock. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to jump onto the computer and show it to you, just so you can see what it is, what it currently is. Because that number 250 to 1 seems to be a little bit outdated. You know what I mean? Everything that's I come across when I just try to look it up keeps coming up with that 250 to 1 number. But according to the U.S. debt clock, the number is much, much higher than 250 to 1. And like I said, I'm going to jump on here now and show you just how high it is. So this is the usdebtclock.org, and I'm sure many of you have been on this site before. And it's got a lot of moving parts here, got a lot of information going on. But of course, like it says, it has U.S. national debt right up here at the top, and it has an active counter on everything that's going on. But I came on here because I want to look at the physical to paper ratio, and they actually do have that, and they have it up to date. And it's just down on the bottom here. Where is it? Okay, I found it. I'm actually going to zoom in a little bit so you can see it a little bit better. You can see down here that the paper to silver ratio now is 373.06 to 1. And paper to gold ratio is at 110.38 to 1. So you can see that is a lot higher than the 250 number that I keep coming across and keep seeing. If you don't hold it, you don't own it, because it was already bad enough, 250 to 1, when you have, 250 people, staking a paper claim to every 1 ounce of silver. Now it's up over 100 more on that ratio. So yeah, as I said, we're now sitting at 373.06 to 1. So it's quite easy for this to get out of control when it is, very simple to just create up this paper silver out of nowhere. Just like when they, turn on the money printing machine and just add more fiat currency into the system. You know what I mean? This is basically the same. It's extremely easy just to create more paper contracts. And I really don't know what the answer is. I don't know how they could curtail this, or how exactly you'd go about getting rid of this big, huge gap in this paper to silver ratio. Yeah, so there you go. The actual number there, according to the debt clock, is 373 to 1. So I looked at 250 to 1 and thought, this is ludicrous. How can it be this high? But in reality, the up-to-date number there is much, much higher. So I will continue to just stack physical silver. That's what I like to pick up. I do look at the markets. I do look at some of the market analysis channels and try and read up on all of that stuff, just because, it does kind of, affect the markets and move spot price when you're seeing all of these, huge sell-offs and everything like that. So I do try and keep up on things that are affecting the spot price, because obviously with picking up physical silver, that's something that you're going to be paying attention to. You're going to be looking at multiple times a day. At least I do. Even if I'm not, even if my budget is completely wiped out for the month, and I'm waiting another 3 weeks till my budget rolls over, I'm still always looking at what the spot price is, looking at what deals are on silver. I tend to torture myself like that, because I know I don't have the budget to pick anything up, but I'm constantly just still online looking. So yeah, with constantly looking at the spot price, I do tend to look at some of the market analysis channels, just because it is something that greatly affects the spot price, which greatly affects how I pick up physical silver, which is what I'm in here for, is the physical stuff. So I really don't know what the solution to this would be. I don't know how we would go about closing the gap. Let me know in the comments if you have any ideas or any thoughts on how this gap could be closed. because that 250 to 1 was the number that just showed up everywhere, and now seeing it at 373, I don't want to look in another 6 months or down the road. I don't want to look to see that it's up to the 500s, you know what I mean? Because it's just a runaway train. It's just going to go higher and higher, and there has to be a collapse at some point. And the more out of control it gets, I think the worse the collapse is going to be. So if you have any idea as to how this gap could be closed, I'd love to hear from you in the comments, because I'm at a loss. I'm new to this stuff. I don't really have any expertise or any comments or educated thoughts or a way to predict what's going to happen with it, because I just don't know too much about that side and how to stop all of this non-existent paper silver from just keep going up and up. The only thing that I'm going to continue to do is stack the physical stuff, and that's, as I said, that's the only thing I can do. And I do know a lot of people that watch this channel are in the same boat, and they're continuing stacking, even if it's on a pause because some of the prices and premiums are up. Physical silver is something that still a lot of people that are watching this still fully believe in, and are still fully trying to add to their stack. And even when times are tough and prices are high, people are still looking to add that physical stuff to their stack however they can. That you might have to change up your budget a little bit. You might have to change up what you're stacking. But I do know that judging by the videos, there's still a lot of people picking up that physical stuff. Because like I said, every time that I do see that that ratio, it's always 250 to 1, and it's been like well over a year, and there's just no other articles or anything talking about it that I can come across, and it's always going to that 250. So it was good to see a more up-to-date number with the U.S. debt clock saying 373, which is pretty outrageous. But anyways, that's it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching, and hope you come back for the next one. Thank you.